Hello everyone, Dr. Van Merkel here, and hopefully you're having a good day. Even though this is COVID time, we are still taking care of patients long distance. And if you're an SBN member, you can be doing this. If you're any doctor, you can be doing this type of work long distance like we are. And one of the services we provide is we assist doctors with their patients. And a doctor, one of our SBN members, sent in a case a while back that's very interesting. And I want to go over it briefly with you. And it was about a 12-year-old boy. And he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes in November of 2019. He is 12 years old. November 2019, diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And he was having, the doctor relays that when I first met him, he was in severe digestive distress and having migraines. But after a couple weeks of chiropractic care, he feels great. He's taking very little insulin now because he has noticed his glucose lowering since upper cervical care. Thoughts on his blood work in November, his fasting insulin was 2.5. And C-Peptide was 0.5. Remember what C-Peptide is. C-Peptide tells you how much pancreatic function you have left, your ability to make insulin. It should be at least 1. So at 0.5, it's extremely low. In fact, when you're at 1, actually about 1.2, they start you on insulin knowing your pancreas is failing. So he's on insulin. His A1C is 16.9. Eek, that should be like 6. His insulin auto antibodies are 7.2. And in October, before all this happened, he had a sinus infection, strep throat, and Epstein-Barr. He had 2 rounds of antibiotics in October. And she says, thanks for help for this case. Okay. I reply back. Antibiotics are likely to trigger. Seen it before. Go in a strict category 1 diet and vitamins, test the hair, and retest the A1C, C-Peptide, insulin antibodies in 3 to 4 weeks. Patient should have a very good outcome with good compliance, complete recovery, without the need for further insulin. But we need to be very compliant. And the patient got tested, replied on 5/11 due to the virus situation, the COVID virus situation. The doctor is finally able to get blood work done for this patient. And I'm going to go over his blood work here in just a minute. And should he stop the insulin due to the insulin being very high in the blood work, which we'll see that, and the insulin auto antibodies are very high. He's been feeling great with no symptoms. Is C-Peptide improved? Not sure why antibodies are up unless he's getting too much insulin. My response, I suspect you are correct. The boy's taking too much insulin, and that is causing his insulin auto antibodies to go high. In fact, I'm not sure he needs it at all at this point. The C-Peptide is 1.4, which doubled. This is very good, but 1.4, his body's making sufficient insulin for him. So I suspect the antibiotic may have contributed or caused the original problem, caused type 1 diabetes to occur in the first place. So it's all very good. Continue to monitor and retest the C-Peptide, insulin auto antibodies, A1C, and glucose in 30 days. Very good. You have changed this boy's life forever. But let's look at his lab work. And here we go. From 131 to 5/1. From January 31st, 2020 to May 1st, 2020. Today is May 12th. Okay. And we can, let's creep up very slowly here. We can see the glucose is elevated. We see the glucose is up from 134 to 183. I'm not too worried about that. As he gets off the insulin, his pancreas, his whole body, liver, everything's got to start readjusting itself. But his A1C is down at 6.1. So what would you suspect if this were your patient? If they came in with an A1C that is lower than before, but the glucose is high, what would you suspect? An improper fast. That's what I really suspect here. It's a 12-year-old boy. He probably didn't fast properly, so I'm not too worried about that because the A1C is down. But also, let's go on down and let's see what we find. The bilirubin is a little bit elevated. That could be associated with a sick liver, pancreas. I'm not too worried about that. The alkaline phos is high. Wow, it's code blue high. Why would the alkaline phos be so high? Why would the alkaline phos be high in a 12-year-old boy? Yeah, he's growing. Perfect. No problem with that. No problem with high octane phos. He is in a growth spurt right now. So let's go on down. We see down here that the C-Peptide in January 31st was 0.7, and then in just, 3 months later, it's up to 5.1. Excuse me, on 5/1, from January 31st to May 1st, it went from 0.7 to 1.4. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And his fasting insulin was at 11 on January. Now it's up to 34, but he's taking in insulin, which tells you what? His insulin antibodies doubled. His body is fighting the injectable insulin. I believe he needs no insulin. And I think if they will, with the help of his medical doctor, I'm not trying to say he doesn't need it. I'm not saying he should stop it, but it looks like the numbers indicate he doesn't need it. And that's the whole point. If he needs it, he needs it. But right now, with these numbers, it doesn't look like he needs it. So I'd recommend he check with his endocrinologist, his medical doctor, and start to reduce those levels down. And I think this is another life that's been saved, another life that's been saved by an SBN member by doing the proper testing. This is exciting. One patient at a time. You have saved this boy's life, and I know there's people like this in your community. Look what antibiotics did to this one boy. And it's not just him. Lots of people. If you got a boy or girl, and they're young or older, any agent, all at once, they're needing insulin, something caused it. Oftentimes, it's medication. But none of the doctors ever acknowledge that. They never look for it. They never acknowledge it. They say, oh, you need insulin now? Big deal. Take insulin. Instead, find out, okay, why, what caused it. Now we got to get him healthy, because if that C-Peptide is the main test to tell you if you'll ever be able to get them off of insulin. And as long as it's not 0, there is a possibility of getting off of insulin, just like it is with this boy. Get out there and get testing. You got to let people know what you do. And if somebody's been tested or is showing insulin, needing insulin now, just all at once, that's when they need to see us the most, because there's ever a chance of getting off insulin. It's got to be done quickly. If once somebody's been on insulin several months or several years, the insulin generally shuts down anti-pancreatic function, which is why we see the insulin auto antibodies so high. The insulin itself will shut down any residual pancreatic function. So you got to get to it quick. You got to be testing everybody, see where they're at. And if you have questions, you need help, that's what we're here for. I'm Dr. Merkowitz, Science-Based Nutrition. We're here to help you with your health problems. If you're an SBN member, you should be providing this for your patients, even in this COVID time. Even though patients aren't coming to our office, we still take care of everybody we can, long distance. Long distance consults, long distance reported findings, just like all of our SBN members. Have a great day. Stay well, stay safe. And if we can help you, contact us at Science-Based Nutrition. Have a great day. I'm Dr. Merkel.